it's going to make it worse. In fact, exponentially worse. Come on. Good job. Hey everybody, Ethan here with Standing Stone, and we've got a really cool video for you today. We just got this brand spanking new JOGADOG. Yes, it is called a JOGADOG. And what we're going to be doing is showing you a little bit about this. We did a lot of research on the different treadmills available for dogs. This one is essentially the industrial version of some of the different options that are out there. But it's kind of what we need here. There's a couple things now. If you've seen our video in the past, you know that we've done some demonstration of how to get your dog introduced to running on a treadmill. And in fact, the treadmills that we have used have pretty much always been $50 flea market specials. And everybody looks at me and goes, how the hell did you find a flea market special for $50? I don't know, I'm lucky. Maybe check Craigslist, it still exists, in case you didn't know. The biggest thing that the people treadmills lack though is length. Start doing some research, figure out what is best for our dogs and the dogs in our care, which is really important here. And then we want to share that with you. Length being one of the biggest things that a human treadmill lacks. We need the dog to be able to stride out properly. So we found this, upgraded to the industrial version, the JOGADOG here, and we got the one that's big enough. So this one, you can actually end up, depending on the size of your dog, they have specs on their website based on weight and height and stride and different stuff like that. But this one was the bigger version so that it would fit more dogs here. But we're gonna show you a couple different things with how this exactly works, and then I'm going to show you a dog that's running on the treadmill that knows how to do that. That will be our Vex boy. He's going to demo the how-to. We're going to show different strides and kind of what you're looking for, and then we're going to show how to teach Thunder, because that little boy is just over a year. If you didn't see his post on Instagram, go click like. He's just over a year, and now he can start doing a little more of this increased conditioning aspect of stuff. So to run through this, we have a bar. This is to help keep the dog where it's going. This is a powder-coated metal framework piece to keep the dogs tracked in here so they're not jumping off one side or the other. It's open-ended, and then there is a bar to keep dogs from trying to go through the middle. Or out the front, excuse me. We'll see if this is necessary or not. It kind of weirded Vex out a little bit when we were trying this out with him, but we'll see. Now, the other side of this treadmill is you have adjustments for the ability to have a little incline. If you have that younger dog, this is not going to be where we recommend to start. This puts more stress on their body, but an older, mature, structurally sound dog, this is going to help add a little bit of extra oomph into that exercise session. Then we can come back up here. All the way up is flat or 0 degrees here. Least resistance, like anybody that's ever run on a treadmill understands, this is easier than the incline. Next thing we've got is an open-ended front. If you've ever tried to run a dog or watched our video, tried to run your dog on a human treadmill, they have that big motor guard piece in the front, and the dog's trying to get appropriate stride, click, 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 and it makes them choppier. It's not as comfortable for them. And then last, there's the actual tension adjustment part on this side. I'll try and get a shot maybe of it to plop in here after we get done. And then the control box. It can sit wherever is most comfortable. Right here, out of the way works. Now, I know because you are already thinking about typing in the little comments below, and go ahead and do that. How fast do you run your dog? This here gives us a 0 to 100. I don't know how fast they will be traveling on this treadmill, and it's more about getting the appropriate pace or gait with your dog, and not the actual speed that they're going. So we're going to show you how to evaluate that with your individual dog, but on average, 3 to 5 miles an hour is going to be close. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with Vexer. Thunderbutt, you stay put. Vex. So, right up through here. Good job, bud. He's really comfortable with this. This is not his first time. He knows what he's doing. We have a couple different options on this bar as far as length based on if we hook a small horse up here, we have the shorter chain. If we have a regular sized dog, we have here. And if we have a wee little dog, we have extra chain lengths, okay? We've got all the things we need. Now, also, I kind of forgot to mention this when you're fitting to your individual dog, these pieces move. It slides all the way up to the front here, and then it even comes back farther so that we can find an appropriate situation. We're gonna have to make these adjustments for Thunder because he's different sized. This bar goes up and down in the front. Very easy hand adjustments. We can slide that up and down so it's out of the way, or kind of provides a little bit of a deterrent to try and run out the front. Also, the chain does that. But aside from that, I think that's it. So when we start him out, we're gonna start at a slower pace here. I'm on a 5 on this bad boy, okay? A little slow walk, get a warm up. These guys are athletes, all right? Anytime you are working with one of your canine athletes, you can't just pitch them outside and say, run like a wild banshee, and don't expect at some point in time they could potentially injure themselves from a pulled muscle or any number of things, right? We can't just crank this bad boy to 90 and say, let's do it. We gotta warm him up a little bit. We are at a 5-ish, 10-ish. Now, for Vex himself, we did a little warm up before this. This is brand new. So I had him, I'm making sure that I know what's going on. He's already done about 15, 20 minutes on the treadmill. Now, this is the thing that I want you to be able to see. Can you see it well there? I don't wanna miss this. Can you zoom in close enough to see what's going on with his legs there? Okay, so I'm gonna get out in front here and try and point this out just a little bit. If you watch his legs, you can see right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side. Both legs on his right side are moving together. This is considered a pacing gait. Not ideal, folks. It's okay for him to do a little bit of this in the warm-up, but then what we need to do is slowly increase the speed. We're not worried about miles per hour here, we're worried about his gait. We're going to slowly increase this here until we see him break over. And what we're looking for is the right side legs are going to be coming together, not moving the same. They're going to come together and then it's gonna crisscross basically here. Let's go ahead and turn him. He's still pacing. And sometimes you're gonna have to speed them up a little faster than what they need and then back them off. All right, guys, we're up around about 50. And you see that change right there, okay? Now we're gonna try and back him down just a little bit. And you can see now his right leg, front and back are coming together, almost crossing a little bit, and his left legs are doing the same. He's just crisscrossing. This is the appropriate gait that we want to keep him at from an exercise standpoint. Much faster than this can be a little bit dangerous. Much slower than this is not ideal from a movement standpoint. Now, the next thing is you can see his head. He's trying to duck it underneath this bar, and then when I lowered the bar down to the bottom, he was like acting like he needed to kind of hop over it or something, like it's an obstacle in his way. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this for him because he's experienced and see if this helps him out a little bit, not feel so weird on here. The never-ending bolt, I felt like. Okay. He's keeping his head a little bit higher, feels more comfortable with that. You can see he's crawled to the front of the treadmill a little bit. It's just a comfortable gait and a comfortable pace for him. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and slow this down. It stops really fast too, so if you were ever to have an issue, an emergency, I noticed that right away. A lot of the old ones would continue rolling for a while. They took a long time. When I crank this bad boy down, it almost stops too fast. But if something were to ever happen, we can get it shut down quick. Now, because he is an athlete, he is warmed up, and he's a mature dog, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of incline for him. So you can see the difference here and what we have to work through. to get him back to the appropriate gait. Starting out. You can see that pacing again is happening. We're increasing here. We're around 30. I would assume it's not going to take as much speed to get him to switch over his gait because it's just working harder. He's going to have to pick it up a little faster or at a little slower pace to keep up. All right, and there's the switch. And we're only about 40-41, not 50-51. Good. Now, I do want to point out one thing, and this is a very awesome feature of this treadmill. Focus on your job here. Focus on your job. Come on. Come on, come on. Good. This is completely... We're going to stop you, bub. I'm distracting you. This is completely open underneath here in the back. There's no magical trap part because it's going to happen. Dogs get running. If you've ever watched your dog run in the field, then they have to pee, or they more specifically usually have to poop. So a good little tidbit, fun pro tip here, take your dog out to go to the bathroom. Make sure they go to the bathroom before you start any treadmill work. But if there's an accident, it's gonna plop onto the ground instead of suck into some chamber that then stinks forever. So plus for the JOGADOG. All right. He's shown how to kind of move through this. Now what we're going to do is move right into Thunder, and I'm going to show you how to teach a new dog to run on a treadmill just like this one. Thank you, buddy. All right, Thunderbutt, you are up. Stay, Vex. Good. All right. Come on up here. Okay. We're going to evaluate all of the things. We're going to evaluate all of the things. We need to get this set up for him. First of all, Thunder has never, ever been on a treadmill before in his entire life. We don't typically do much running on the treadmill for dogs under a year old. That's when they start to move into, they are not fully mature and fully developed yet, but they start to move into a level of maturity that some light jogging on a treadmill isn't going to cause any long-term developmental issues, as long as we don't overdo it. And that's anything. I mean, you could overdo just running through the field and give your dog some trauma. Those growth plates aren't closed yet, so it's important to pay attention to this. Kat was mentioning right off the bat, don't forget, he's younger and he's starting out. We need to move this incline. Whoop, too far. Back to no incline. We are flat. Come on, bub. Now we're going to check here and see. I could probably move this bar back a little bit. There's just a couple little toggle bolts here. Bum, 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 bum. And then this will slide. Yeah, I like that. A little better for him. So we're all the way back because there's plenty of room. We're just using the one little longer piece of chain. You could literally use anything. You could use a leash. You could use whatever you want to hook your dog up here. This is the big caveat, warning, disclaimer. Do not ever leave your dog on the treadmill to entertain themselves. This is not how this works. Hey, go for a run. I'll be back in a bit. There's always something that could potentially happen. And although this is a convenient way to help them exercise, both mentally and physically, it's not safe enough for you to just leave them there. So we've got him clipped up. Go ahead and stand up, bub. I think overall, he's pulling to the front because there's an open area. We might throw this bar back up in there if it's needed. We'll see if he's trying to come off the front by pulling too hard. But I think all in all, we're about as set up as we need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and click it over to just where it barely starts. Okay, maybe just a little more than that. All right. Now we need to encourage him. Come on. Good. Put one foot in front of the other. There you go. Now, good. The really cool part here, folks, is that Thunder has a above average brain and ability to cope with new situations. So he's acting extremely normal here, almost like he has done this before, but he has not. If your dog Oh, there it is. If your dog clings, freezes, drags, that's why it's important to get this slow speed, to start at this slow speed, but then at the same time, there you go, we need to work up to a faster speed as quickly as possible. Otherwise, dogs can learn all kinds of avoiding, escaping tactics like, this is too slow, I'm just gonna try and jump off. We need to keep him focused on the task at hand. So, let's go ahead and move it up a little bit. There you go. You can see him looking around a little bit. It's a bit of a change, right? Come on. It's okay for him to fall off the back just a little bit. It's helping him to learn. I got to keep my feet moving. Now, I mentioned this, and I mentioned it kind of in passing. Two huge parts of exercising your dog is to exercise both mental and the physical side of things. You got to train their brain, you got to train their bodies. If you're just focusing on one or the other, you are going to be missing things. Now, with this, he has to, and you can see it. You can see while he's doing this, he has to, I'll get my distraction out of the way, he has to focus on what's happening. You know, no, outside he doesn't have to focus about running. That's a physical thing. Lungs, heart, muscles, all those are getting worked. In here, he's got to focus on the fact that the floor is now moving and I'm, essentially not moving, but moving. It's a weird thing for a dog to think about. And he is mentally having to think through this process constantly. So this makes both a mental and physical training exercise. It's a good one, folks. We're gonna go up a little faster now. He's getting more comfortable. Good boy, come on. A little bit of encouragement's important. Now, in this first session, I'm not so sure, come on, that we'll be able to get him past pacing. That's not abnormal. We've got a dog that needs to get comfortable walking, and we're gonna try and go as fast as we can to get him to break over into that next gait, but at the same time, there's no guarantees that we'll get it done. If you build a bad association with the treadmill by pushing too fast, too soon, you're going to create long-term issues that are going to be difficult to overcome. Like anything that we talk about, if your dog is acting apprehensive or seems unsure, letting them out of that situation is not going to make the thing better. It's going to make it worse. In fact, exponentially worse. Come on. Good job. If your dog is apprehensive, you need to be able to take the time, prepare the time to work through it. Know that getting off the treadmill is not the option. We just need to make it easy enough to help them be successful. Then we can gradually add more distractions and more difficulty level. So we're doing all right here, but again, you can see this is taking some focus. Let's see if we can go just a smidgen faster. Good boy. I'm gonna focus on him a minute. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Good, 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 good. This is a lot for him, guys. Although he got up here and he seemed pretty comfortable right off the bat, this is definitely mentally draining. This first session, I would typically have help a dog work through maybe 10 to 20 minutes. That seems like a long time, but this really isn't a physical exercise thing at this point. He's just walking. It is a mental exercise, though, and he's not going to be able to take much more than that 10 to 20 minutes. I think we may be a little bit overbalanced. There's a tensioning portion here on this backside, and I set it up because we were kind of shifted to the left to begin with right out of the box, and now we're kind of shaded to the right. I'm going to have to back that off just a little bit once we get done here, but all in all, I got to say, folks, I'm really, really impressed with this unit. Very well built, very well put together.
A little bit more than a $50 flea market buy, though.
Oh yeah, it's a little more than 50. Come on. Good. Come on. Be encouraging. My goal is not to, if at all possible, slow it down on him. We want him to figure this out. Now, if he needs it slowed down, we can do that, but it's going to take him a session or two to get comfortable to where he can run. Now, Nixer, on the other hand, was who we did the video with before. That dude absolutely loves to work, loves the treadmill, and he would just get on here and go. He'd be like, crank me up to 100, baby. Good. Let's go ahead and slow this all the way back down, and then we're going to get him started again. That is part of the... You all right, bud? That's going to be part of the training exercise, all right? So we're moving the floor again. Get comfortable learning what's happening. Once your dog gets really good at a specific speed too, you can change it up on him. Here, we're going to go a couple clicks faster, a couple clicks slower. You've got to pay attention to what's happening. Now, we can throw a link in the description here, point to where you can find one of these, but just to give you a ballpark, this specific model, was it the large or is it the, it wasn't the biggest one, it was the second biggest one they make, I think. Cat's fact checking. Good job, Thunder. Come on. Say again. 72 inches would be 6 foot. It looks close to 6 foot, doesn't it? Is that 6 footer?
Half horsepower. I'm just reading them out from my invoice.
Yeah, and what was it? Shipped to us.
How much shipped to us?
Yeah.
$2,265.85.
Okay, so out the door to us in a crate, wrapped with cardboard. It was kind of a weird thing when it showed up, but totally all the pieces there, completely fine, no damage, whatever. The unit runs around $2,200 to your door. They, like I said, they make a slightly smaller one, and most of our dogs would probably work fine. I mean, because we're short about 2 foot of what they're actually using. So I think the next model down would actually be good, but we wanted the oversized one in case we do get some bigger dogs in here. But, I mean, you're looking at a fairly substantial investment. Come on. Let's see if we can pick this up here a little bit more.
Yeah, it was the large. There's
Large.
an extra large.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There is a bigger one than this.
And then the medium is 60 inches.
So the medium's 60, which would probably realistic. All right, here it is, guys. You see that tongue coming out? This dude has been hunting all fall. I'm talking all fall. He has been working his butt off. Why is his tongue hanging out? Because he is mentally exhausted. This is not a physical exhaustion thing. He is mentally exhausted. So it's a good indication that this is probably a great time to end his session. We're gonna slow this down here. If we were finishing a longer workout session, I would say we need a cool down, a real, 5-6 minute cool down type of thing. Let them kind of cool down slowly, and then we would hop off of here. He hasn't really worked up from the physical aspect of things to need that, so we're just going to go ahead and stop. All right. I just want to say, guys, this is the JOGADOG. It's not only how to introduce a dog. Yeah, look at that bad boy. Not only how to introduce a dog to a treadmill, the specific benefits of a dog treadmill versus a people treadmill, but also the benefits of just utilizing a treadmill for your dog all the way around. Vex did a fantastic job. I know we're going to use the crap out of this thing. And Thunder, we'll give you an update down the road showing how he's progressed, how he's doing, and how much the little dude loves this treadmill. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm the guy with the pink gun. We had Vex in this video, and this is Thunder. And we will see you next time.